A lot. They're gonna love you a lot.
Success! Pudding!
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the man we've all been waiting for. And waiting for. That man is Marcus the Motivator.
Hello everybody, it's Marcus the Motivator here. Today I have got a rather more personal special interview today. Today I'm here with Matt Black, a good and dear friend of mine who is extremely successful in many aspects of life. Matt, how are you?
I'm good, thank you, Marcus. Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. Today what we want to have a chat about is some of the things that you've had great success in life. You've been a very successful restaurateur, entrepreneur,
I have.
and whatnot in the hospitality industry. Do you want to tell us a bit about that and how and what you've done?
Yeah. Well, you probably know a lot what I've done, but I started
for
at 15.
everyone out there.
Yeah, hi everybody. I started at 15.
Yep.
Actually, started at 15 as a chef. I did my apprenticeship, so I left school very young.
Yep.
Year 9, I left school, and did my apprenticeship at the Park Orchard Chalet.
Yep.
And it all started from there.
So from there, what did you do? Let's go through. What did you do from being a chef?
From what do you mean
From
being a chef?
when you were a chef at the Park Orchard Chalet. So what happened
I left
after?
school.
Yep.
I basically stayed there. I was there for 5 years. I loved it.
Yep.
I was good at school, loved school, but I just thought this is a way for me to earn money
Yep.
and get out of school, sort of a thing. So it all just flowed from there. But in saying that, even though I left school young, started my apprenticeship, first year apprentice, it was a 4-year course.
Yep.
I always knew that I wasn't going to be a chef.
Yep.
From a young age, I always knew long term I was never going to end up being a chef. I wanted to go on to something more. It was a stepping stone.
So you started as a chef by trade. Do you think that helped you? Do you think that helped you get into being successful in the hospitality and the restaurant?
Yeah, discipline. Even starting work young.
Yep.
The discipline, having responsibilities at such a young age.
Yep.
It gave me the groundwork. Definitely.
How much of having that discipline do you think actually, like a lot of people, like so many people now, they go through school to the 18. A lot of people go on to say university and further study and may not have had that discipline and that experience. That
No, definitely
you got
not.
At such
A lot
a
of
young
them, yeah.
How much do you think? How much of that, getting that discipline and that learning at such a young age, helped you?
Well, it taught me everything. It taught me the basics for everything for life, on how to be responsible.
Yep.
And how if I want something, I've got to go out and earn it and save. And that's what it did.
So after doing the chefing work, what was the next?
Well, I stayed at the chalet for 5 years. Then I went to the Tudor Motel in Box Hill.
Yep.
And finished off my course. I stayed there for another 4 years. Loved
Yep.
it. Where I was second chef there, and all the places where I've worked, I've loved. I've
Yep.
actually really enjoyed cooking, but I thought long term, 30s, 40s, 50s,
Yep.
it's not for me. It's just too stressful and all that. But, I thought, well, what am I going to do? I'm going to start my own business.
Yep.
And I thought, no business actually experience. I've learnt from all the places I've worked.
Yep.
I've taken everything in, and I've learnt with people skills and giving it a go.
Yep. So when did you start? So when did you actually decide you wanted to go into business for yourself?
I was head chef at Smith Street Bar and Bistro in
Yep.
Collingwood. I was working for about 3 years into it, and I
Yep.
thought, bloody hell, I'm working that bloody hard. I'm making all my bosses, like the bosses, so much bloody money
Yep.
with my craft, with
Yep.
my skills, my food. I'm going to do it myself. So it was just like bang.
So it was
instant.
So for you, it was pretty much just a light bulb. You thought
It was a light bulb. It actually was. Yeah, I know when it happened. It was a Friday lunchtime. About 100 and 50 people in the restaurant, bang, and I just thought, I'm going to do this myself. I'm going to give it a go myself.
So what was the first adventure for having a go by yourself?
Cafe Black.
And
I went home after that busy Friday
Yep.
at Smith Street, and I looked in the paper, looked on the net, rang an agent, said I want to buy a business, a cafe.
yep.
And that's
And-
what I did. I just went out there and did it.
And how daunting was that for you, going from working from someone else just as a chef?
It was-
just getting you got the steady routine of getting a paycheck.
Yep.
To going from that steady, comfortable to now I run my own business. Now I'm
The
responsible.
first
for
day
everything.
in business was probably the worst day of my life.
How
It
so?
probably was. It was just, I had no idea what was going on. I had staff. I was new.
Yep.
And I thought, what the hell have I done? I thought, shit, I've really stuffed up. I've really, no. And it took me about 3 to 4 weeks to really get into the sort of, okay, I'm learning, and I know, and I made mistakes. And but I learned from the mistakes that I made at Cafe Black.
How steep of a learning curve do you think that was for you?
That was thrown in literally at the deep end from being a chef for many years. I was only 27 when I bought my first business.
Yep.
From chefing, just learning, getting a paycheck, not being really caring about sort of where the money's coming from, the customers, to caring about everything.
Yep.
So it was in the deep end, literally. Yeah.
And when you throw yourself in the deep end,
Yeah.
how do you think how did that feel for you, for everyone out there?
It was bloody stressful.
Yep.
I'm going back to the time because I remember that day. I remember going upstairs afterwards that first day. I thought, this is a bloody mess. But I learned, and I had to learn. It was mine. I was in control of the lease. I bought the business.
Yep.
I had no one to teach me. I had to do it, and I had to work at it. People skills, I had to learn. I had to learn how to manage. I had to learn how to worry about money. Landlords, everything.
Yep.
Basically, at a very young age. Yeah.
How did you find it? 27, as you said, when you got that.
Yep.
How did you find starting? Like, how much of that now? Obviously, you've got much more experience, but how much of those lessons that you learnt in, say, not even but say in the first year of, say, running Cafe Black,
Well,
how much of that can you put down to the success and where you are at now?
Well, in the end, all my businesses have been successful because I've learned. I haven't. You have to. That's part of it. You
Yep.
have to adapt. You have to, be mindful. You can't be sort of saying, "Well, I'm the boss." My way. I learned.
Yep.
But Cafe Black was the ground for me, the foundation for me. It really was. And after I was there for nearly 4 years, and
Yep.
I thought, with my mate, I just thought I can do better. I can do bigger.
Yep.
And I got bored. I'd learnt everything. It was just becoming So I thought I'm going to go bigger.
Yep.
So then I was looking for a bigger restaurant, and then
Yep.
along came my second restaurant, Warrandyte Retreat.
Yep.
Which was very big, 10 seat, big out the front.
Yeah, about
that,
Sounds
yeah.
about that. Yeah.
And I learned from that, and that was still learning as well. But I knew what to do. I knew what people want. I knew sort of how to manage staff. I knew how to get the best out of the business.
So moving on to Warrandyte Retreat.
Yes.
So you're basically wanting to take the lessons you learnt with Cafe Black and all that experience you had running
Yep.
that, and you wanted to put it into a larger scale,
Yes, definitely. Yes.
larger scale
Yep.
where
I got
you
bored
could.
with a small sort of strip shop
Yep.
thing. I'd done everything, and I had a lot of chefing experience where I knew food.
Yep.
I knew what people sort of wanted to eat. I knew what people liked to eat.
Yep.
And I just thought I can do more with. I've learnt the business sort of side of things,
Yep.
the basic sort of business things, but now I want to give them more of what I can offer,
Yep.
food-wise, as well as my personality and being sort of the host and being, the front of house sort of person
Yep.
as well. So that's why I was deliberately looking for a bigger restaurant. And I found it.
You found were there so in the time between say Cafe Black and Warrandyte Retreat, were you weighing up many
Yes,
options?
I was.
Like,
yes. I worked with, as I say, my best mate Ryan, who you know. We worked at Enric's in Blackburn. As I say, we worked there for 8 months, the two of us chefing, while we were looking. So we were sort of working. And then on the weekends, we would go with the agent around and look at different sort of venues. And they were all over Melbourne. It just happened to be in Warrandyte, close to my home. I was looking in the city, I was looking in Richmond, everywhere. I was looking everywhere.
So from the experience you had at Cafe Black, what was the reason why you ended up choosing Warrandyte? Obviously, you wanted something bigger scale, but there had to be something else.
The reason was because, have you been to Enric's in Blackburn? You know it, basically. Have you been to the living room where we worked in the living room in Templestowe?
Yes.
We worked at the living room.
Yeah, so for all those out there, the living rooms are...
It's sort of a big
It's a big kind of restaurant. It's a big maybe about...
Family bistro.
About 80, 100 seat people kind of restaurant kind of thing.
Yeah, but it's got that sort of... and working at the living room, working at Enric's, they're both very similar.
Yep.
I thought, I can do this. I met the bosses. I was speaking with the bosses. I thought, shit, I can do it.
Yeah.
And so I made the retreats basically from more experience of where I'd been.
Yep.
All in one. So it was Cafe Black. It was Enric's. It was the living room. I sort of combined it and sort of made it all in one. And the retreat came along. Yeah.
Yeah. So moving along with the Warrandyte Retreat. With a bigger scale restaurant comes bigger scale opportunity, bigger opportunities.
Yes.
Not only bigger opportunities, but more challenges and more things you had to deal with. Talk to us about some of with a larger scale venue and a larger scale business. Some of the challenges.
People actually think that, but it was still similar. You're still doing the same things. At the end of the month, you're still paying your suppliers, you're still paying your rent, you're still writing that one check. The one check to this is, it's a different people. You still, yes, there's more wages, a little bit more, but on a whole, you're still doing the basic concept. Doesn't matter if you're doing that to that. Just the amounts are bigger.
So for you, in the end, you learned everything as a start from Cafe Black. And you basically all you basically did was...
Well, that was in business. I learned from when I left school at 15 at the Park Orchard Chalet. I learned there working with all these adults, people full on. My head chef was 60 years old. My bosses were in their 50s, I'd learned, I was taking everything in. So I actually learned from the day I started working, I was learning.
So you basically just learnt from when you started at Cafe Black and those previous experiences you had
Cafe
with working.
Black was I was thrown in the deep end. I had to put it all together. What I'd seen people do, I was actually doing it.
So, but the process for you was very similar, basically.
For Warrandyte?
For Warrandyte to what it was for
very
Cafe
similar.
Black.
Yeah, it was.
So when you did you find it, even though you were doing it on a bigger scale then, did you find it a lot easier and more enjoyable?
Yeah, I did. I found it more enjoyable, I loved it. Loved Warrandyte Retreat. I was there for a long, long time. 8 years? Was it nearly 8 years you were there? Something like that, a long time. It was a great business. But you get bored. You get bored doing the same thing, day in, day out, same routine. It's, same sort of people in Warrandyte, small community. So I thought, let's do something different again. So from restaurant.
From restaurant, yep.
We'll do pub.
And so from Warrandyte, what did you do after? What did you end up doing after?
I had a bit of a break.
Trip?
I had a bit of a break. Went on holidays. Went overseas. Chilled. I always said after Warrandyte, I was never going to go into hospitality again. I always said that. I've had enough.
Yep.
But I was actually in Spain.
Yes.
And I was I was in Croatia actually.
Yes.
Sailing Croatia, and I was on the boat, and I thought, I'm going to do it again.
Yep.
The bug, just light bulb again.
It got you.
And I just started, as soon as I got back, I thought, start looking again. Ring the agents. I'm back. Here I am. Find me something for my next thing. It was a light bulb. Moment. It's weird.
So for
Yeah.
you doing hospitality, is it one of those things that it's something you enjoy doing, but at the same time when you do it for 4 or 5 years or whatever it is, you go, I've had enough. I need
Yes.
to have a break
Yeah,
for a
you're
while.
on autopilot. At the end,
Yep.
it just becomes second nature. Like it's just part of me. Hospitality is part of me. I've been doing it for that many years. It's just who I am.
Yep.
So you don't have to. At the end, it's just it's second nature.
Yep.
But now that I've sold my last business 5 weeks ago, I'm having a break now.
So tell us a bit about your last business. I think it was
The Albion, the Albion
Albion.
Hotel in Port Melbourne. Loved it. Great business. Different again
Yep.
from all the previous two.
So
you know,
how
from
was
restaurant.
it different from how
It was a
was
bit
it
more
different?
relaxed. It was a bit more casual, a bit more social
Yep.
sort of a thing, and easier again.
Yep.
Probably the easiest business I've run is the pub. And people say to me all the time, "Oh, it's hard work, pubs, hard work." No, I found it very easy. It was
Why
probably
did
the easiest.
you find it so
Because
easy?
I basically I know how to get the best out of people. I know how to do things, but it's just a casual sort of friendly environment, and the pressure's not there to perform like a restaurant,
Yep.
like Warrandyte. You know, had to be there, had to have good service, manners, table service. Pub's different. You want something, they come up and order it. They come to you and say, "I want to order this."
So
So
you-
the whole thing is different. Not, yeah.
So you found that a lot easier running a pub.
A lot easier.
Do you think
If I'd learnt that at the retreat, the retreat, I probably would have done it the other way. I would have done it that way, up to the bar to order, made it different. Would have saved us a lot of time.
time and effort probably and
Yep.
stress?
Yep, and stress.
Do you think though
We had fun though.
that the Albion was so easy because of those previous experiences having worked at Cafe Black
Yes.
and Warrandyte
Yeah,
Retreat?
yeah.
Do you think
It
it
is.
just made everything
It did
just
because not only
so much easier?
not only have I grown how to employ staff, how to treat staff, I had my suppliers, all my.
So you already had all of this
I had
that you
all of
could
that.
fall back onto.
I've got a lot of contacts now. I can ring anyone. Bang, bang, bang. Here I am. Bang. So it's all it all fell into place very
So
easily.
how
Very
much
easily.
and again, that's for when. So once you have that experience and you have all that, it just
it's second nature.
it becomes so much easier.
Yeah, but that's like anything. That's like probably anyone in their job, in their field. After
Yep.
many years, I'm talking 20 years,
Yeah,
it just becomes, you know what to do.
the whole thing becomes
The whole
second
thing's-
nature
yeah.
and just easy.
Yeah,
So you've just, as you said, you've just sold the Albion in
I
Port
have.
Melbourne.
yeah.
What's going to be next?
I'm going
From
to
Matt
have
Black.
look, people asking me all the time, and I'm just going to chill. I'm having 12 months off,
Yep,
and I'm just going to just relax for a bit,
yep.
and then I'm going to do something different, I think. As I told you, I'm going to probably get into flipping houses. I want to do something different. Total, I'm 42. Something different.
That's a stark contrast. That's very
It is.
different from
It
working in
is.
hospitality
Yeah.
and working in
But-
restaurants and pubs. So how did that come about?
I actually
for you
bought
for-
an investment property last year, and it was a really terrible place, and I just started doing it up on the weekends,
Yep.
bit by bit, and I loved it. And that's how it sort of started. I thought, bloody hell, I can do this. This
Okay.
is awesome. And that's how it sort of started.
Are you getting with the renovations that you've done and the work you've done on
Yep.
the place you've bought, and your idea to maybe go and flip
Yes.
places, which there's actually TV shows to watch out about
There is.
doing.
There's
There
a
is
lot.
TV shows to
And
watch about
I've got
flipping
my tips
houses.
and yeah.
Are you getting the same enjoyment and same thrill out of say doing up the place you're doing versus what you're versus when you're working in the restaurants and pubs?
It's totally different. You can't even compare them. But I'm getting more enjoyment. Yeah, I think I am. I think because it's rewarding.
Yep.
I can see what I've done. Like when you're in business, you're just serving, you know. With this, I can see something that's pretty awful to what it is now. You can see the difference. So it's rewarding in that way.
So one of the things I want to head back more to the restaurant business side of what you've had. So
I'll never say never.
You'll never say never.
I'll never say never. I'm just taking 12 months off, see where I am.
So one of the things I want to get you to say is to anyone out there who's whether they're a chef or they're working in hospitality, what advice could you give to anyone out there who wants to do the things you've done, say get into running a cafe or getting into running a restaurant or a pub?
If you've got a goal and the motivation and the right attitude, it does come down to attitude.
Yep.
You've got to have the right attitude and you've got to be grounded, but you've got to be mindful as well.
Yep.
And you do have to take risks. You do. Nothing comes easy. You do have to put things on the line. Yep. Like I have done. You know,
tell us about some of the sacrifices that you've made to get where you are today. Because obviously working in hospitality,
there goes your social life.
Yeah,
there goes your show. You are working of a weekend.
Yep.
On a Sunday, whatever. So Friday night you are working. That is a big thing in hospitality. So you've got to, if you want to do that, but it becomes social where you're working anyway. So it was sort of, you know, you're out anyway.
Yep.
So you sort of just becomes way of life. Yeah.
So there's obviously the challenges with the social aspect. What do you think?
That didn't really bother me. It didn't really, because you're getting interaction with people.
Do you think that though comes down to, say, the personality of who you are as a person?
Yes, it does. Without a doubt.
The attitude, as you said, that you have to be able to...
You have to be able to have that sort of, be approachable sort of, And I learned how to do that as well.
Yep.
You know, from being a chef back in the kitchen to sort of being out front of house.
To be able to present yourself.
And Warrandyte was the first place where I was actually front of house.
Yep.
At Cafe Black, I was actually in the kitchen, full on cooking.
Yep.
I wasn't front of house. I employed front of house people. So I wasn't even on front of house. I was in the kitchen. And so Warrandyte was the first step for me to go out the front.
How did that make you, how was that for you?
I loved it. I loved it because I trained my chef, Ryan Up. I'd worked with him and I told him and I trained him from young to put him in the kitchen, to do it how I do it, how I expect it and how it should be done. So he was in there and I was at the front and loved it.
What did you enjoy when you ended up going from Cafe Black to Warrandyte, going from being in the kitchen to being front of house? What was it that you enjoyed most about getting out of the kitchen and just being in front of everybody?
Remember, I always said I knew I wasn't going to be a chef.
Yep.
So that was sort of my goal, long term, you know, to get out the front and own my own business long term. And when it finally happened, I thought, wow, it's happened, and loved it, and I had to learn again as well. I had to learn, you know, dealing with sort of the customers one-on-one, and that was, you know, interesting but good as well.
How much of a challenge did you find dealing with the public instead of being back of house, instead of cooking versus?
I'm pretty good. You know, I didn't find that difficult at all. I quite enjoyed that. It was like being trapped in the dungeon to the kitchen to being out on show. It was sort of, it was good.
Do you think that came down to your attitude, to what you wanted to do?
Out of doubt. Yeah, it all comes down to attitude.
Because
business is about attitude and no arrogance or that. Because there's a lot of people, especially in this industry, it's all about ego.
Yep.
And you can't have ego. It's got to be just,
So what has what has the hospitality industry given you back personally? Like what have you felt?
Personally?
What do you feel you have achieved from the last 20 years of working in hospitality from Cafe Black?
What do you mean, like money wise?
Not just
money wise. I've made bloody good income.
Yep.
I've made a lot of money.
Yep.
But I've worked hard for that money, so it has given me, well, everything really, hasn't it?
So so now obviously after the Albion, you're obviously pretty comfortable and financially stable, but you have worked very hard for that.
I
obviously.
have, yes. Yeah.
Is there anything else that, like, just personal? How much personal, like, satisfaction? What personally have you gained?
It is very rewarding, you know, and it's set me up for life, I suppose, hasn't it? Really.
Yeah.
But it hasn't come easy, you know. It hasn't. It's been a lot of, you know, it's been fun along the way.
Yep.
But it's that constant. Yeah.
So
responsibility.
So there's that responsibility. There's
no sort of like, even as you know, we were closed for 1 or 2 weeks at Warrandyte for 8 years. That's the only annual leave I had. That's it, forced then. There's sort of, you know, there's no sick days. I can't just phone up sick or I'm not turning up. I was there.
Yep.
All the time. It's a different sort of responsibility. But when it's yours, you've got a different sort of way of thinking anyway.
So what's your